Hi, it's Matt from Testfully, and in this video we will give a demo of API Fortress for API monitoring purposes. So I have created my account about a week ago, and this is how it looks like. Your account should look similar to this one as well. So when you log into your account, the first things that you need to do to create a project. So let's go ahead and create a project. So for this example, I'm going to use the Rick and Morty API. So this is a free API that you can use as well. So I simply call this project Rick and Morty. And what I want to do is that I will leave the rest of it blank. And now I have basically the project. The first thing that you want to do is to go to the test section and create a new test. So I will click on the new test button here and create a new test. So basically we can, for example, let's say we want to get a character profile. So you can see in the Rick and Morty documentation that they have REST API, and one of the endpoints that they offer here is the character. So we use this one. So let's try to say fetch a valid character profile. So that's our test case. So now our test case is created. You can see it here, and don't worry much about this stuff. What you want to do next is to come to the compose section. So we click on the compose section, and this is where you actually design your test case. So in this section, you have an add button. You can click on that one to basically add new items, or you can just use this section as well. So let's go ahead and add a request. So in this section, because this is a GET request, I will click on the GET request, but you have options to send a POST request, PUT request, delete request, as well as patch. Also, you have the assertions as well, which we get to them a bit later. So let's click on the GET one. So here we want to have our URL. So I have a URL already. So I will basically put that one here. That's the basically for character 2. If I basically create this one, here you can see that that's the information we have. So that's good. What's the variable? If you want to capture the response of this request, you can set a variable. So we set it as a character profile, and that's it. So I will click on the save button here to basically save this request. So now my step is being saved. So the next thing is that I will click on the save button over here, and that saves my test. Okay, that's good. Now the next thing is that you want to run this test to see if it's actually working. So there is a run button here. I will click on that one, and here I can click and pick the environment that I want. I will just leave US East, and let's click on the run test. So now we have the test result here. You can see it is everything okay. That should be fine. So I can click on the see more here to see actual request and response. So I can click on load source and see the actual response. This is cool, but it doesn't have any validation, obviously. What we want to do to set a couple of validations. So for example, I want to see if the ID is 2 and the name is Morty Smith. So let's go and handle that one. So I will come back to my test case here. So what I will do, I will click on the basically add request or assertion. This time I will add one assertion. So what I want to do, I want to check a value or a field matches what we expect. So there is here one called equal. So I will click on that one, and here comes the thing. So we need to define expression. How do we define expression? Obviously, we need to have access to the response of our request in the first step here. So we named it, here we can see it's a character profile. So here I can say it's character profile. Obviously, I have suggestions as well. .id, which means that a field called ID within the response. And what do I want? I want the value to be 2. You can set the type here as well. So what I will do, I want this to be an integer, as well as level, I want this to be an error. And what I want to happen when this assertion fails. So obviously stop assertion. That's how I want it. So now I click on this section on the save button and my assertion is saved. So what I will do now, again, click on the save button over here to save my test case and then run it. So now it's run. As you can see here, basically the assertion is 2. So that's good. What else we can do? You can add all sort of assertions, and basically now we have our test case. So this test case is now working. What I want to do next is to actually schedule this one so it runs every 5 minutes, for example. Let's go back to our test cases here. I will click on the test that we have just created. It's here. A couple of things that you need to do is that you can see here that the test status is draft, and because we haven't published it yet. So what we'll do here is that we click on the publish button, and now our test case is ready for scheduling. So that's the trick. So what you want to do now is to click on the schedule button down here, and you will be provided with this interface for scheduling your test case. Within API Fortress, you can schedule each test separately. You can't combine multiple test cases into one group and schedule them all. So I will click on the create new run over here and name it. For example, I will see of get character API. So that's the name. What I want to do is that I need to set downloader. Downloader is basically the server or servers that you want to execute your test for you. I will click on it and I will select this one. You can click multiple times as well. In this section, basically what you need to do is to pick what minutes of what hours on what days in each month you want this to be executed. So I say I want to execute it at 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and all the way to 50. I just wanted to execute every 5 minutes of every hour, every day, every month. That's pretty much what I want to do. So now that I'm done, I will click on the save group, and my basically test is, my schedule is being created. So you can see that we have 2 copies of our test is running because it's just we scheduled it for 2 downloaders. Cool. So now if we go back to the test cases, and here you can see that test is live and it's the schedule. So obviously I can go to the dashboard section and see the basically results. Because we just scheduled this one about a minute ago, that's not going to show anything, but if we be patient a little bit, it's going to show up our results for our executions, and if the test fails, we are going to receive an email. So that's it, a quick way to create API monitoring using API Fortress.